Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to another Away Day Guide. This time we are live. We are coming to you wherever you may be. And yes, Amy Downs has turned up. We have found the actual star of the show. You've actually made this one, Amy. How are you?
I'm getting there, thank you. I am better. I reached the point today where I was like, do you know what? I just need to pop some tablets, suck it up, and deal with it because I can't go through
Absolutely.
another week of not doing anything. But it's just been a bit rough, and everybody I speak to seems to have had some kind of illness over the last couple of weeks, and now
Yeah.
we're all coming through it. The outside world is going to give us a battering instead, isn't it?
It is. It's that time of the year in the sense of the schools have just broken up, which always means if you're a parent, teacher, or child, you're probably going to come in down with some type of cold, which of course then ruins the half term. So I
Exactly.
wasn't surprised when you said you wasn't very well. I wasn't very well though in the preceding days before. Oh, we did miss one show because of me actually. Yeah, about to say I don't know if we missed a show. We did. We did
You
the
were a
night.
trooper. You managed it 24 hours late. For me, it's been a whole weekend late.
It was only the fever that stopped me that time.
I
You
know,
know,
bless you.
if I didn't have the fever, I probably would have been okay to go. But we are here to discuss what has to be quite possibly the third. It must be the third longest away trip up there with Sunderland and Plymouth, because you can see just above Tractor Girl Amy, you've got Sunderland to the right of Amy, Morecambe to the left, and Fleetwood down to the bottom left. So Morecambe, sorry, has to be in that range, doesn't it?
I'd have said it's second because it's further than Fleetwood. It's kind of
It's
past
not as far
Fleetwood.
as Sunderland. Is it
It's not as
further
far as
than Plymouth?
Sunderland.
That's the question. Is it further than Plymouth to Ipswich? I know.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, good question.
yeah, there you go. You see, I am obviously famous with the Google Maps. I have, of course, got the map up already. There is Morecambe. It is only a nothing 4 hours and 52 minutes
Ah,
drive.
do it in your sleep.
Flipping it, you'd need some sleep to do it. If I just zoom out, I mean, when you take it in full context, it's like fucking hellfire. I mean, I don't know why Google does this, Amy. Who would go this route? Why would you go into London to go back out of London?
If you fancied the scenic route, you might want to go past Big Ben on your
Like,
way up to the north.
like you,
Remind
you,
yourself of the other side of the country before you have to trek all the way up to
yeah.
Lancashire.
Are you somebody who likes the M25? Well, go to the Way Day via the M25 and every single time. Like, there was a lottery show, I think it was called Jet Set, where you could win a trip to the M25 or the Spaghetti Junction. They were like
Ah,
booby, they were like booby prizes.
oh, which one would you pick? The Spaghetti Junction for sure.
Never been to that one, so I'd have to go with that one myself. But place I've never been to is Morecambe. I have to be honest. Jim Bowen was their most famous fan. I don't know if they've got a famous fan now. Obviously, the King of Bully, Bullseye. 22 years ago today, yesterday, we were being invited up for a quiz with Jim Bowen.
Oh, really?
We just played in the FA Cup, you see. So they were trying to say, come back and do a quiz, and it was a fundraiser because we just played him in
Yeah,
the FA Cup,
yeah.
third round. Can you imagine?
Bonkers, absolutely
Oh,
bonkers.
crazy, crazy. But there we go. We are where we are. As the last five will tell you, it was the easiest last five George has probably done in a while. There was only three to stick on. Um, Took him half the time, and we've not yet, touch wood, tasted defeat to Morecambe. 0-1, there's that FA Cup game, 3-0 win, 4-0 in 03 in the FA Cup again, and then League One, a sign of the times, a sign of the depressive times. But yeah, last five. What do you think of that, Amy?
I think it does definitely make for interesting reading, doesn't it? And I did think, seeing as we have already played them once this season, it might be nice to check in to introduce our guest for tonight and see what he thought of us, because it was a bit of a funny game, that one, wasn't it? So I'd love
Oh,
to hear
yeah,
about it from
yeah.
both sides. So tonight we are joined by Tom Collins, who's very kindly come along to chat with us. He's been a Morecambe fan since 1995, which I loved because actually that's the first year I went to see Ipswich. So we've both
No
been
wonder he looked miserable.
suckers for.
Good evening, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Hello, Tom. You were laughing there, so I'm glad we've raised your spirits. 1995, that's a long, long time.
It is, isn't it? It is. Yeah, it's been a journey and a half. And while this is the absolute pits for you, this is the peak for us. So the pyramid goes down and down, guys.
Don't Don't. Under previous regimes, we may well have found out just where the bottom of the pyramid was, but hopefully not so anymore. Now, look, we join you. We're obviously live. We join you at a time when, before we go live, you were scratching your head. You admitted you're a bit of a daze. So tell the people at home, why are you in a daze? What's going down currently in the Morecambe universe?
Well, look, we've rolling back at the start of the season, we'd lost. We'd come up through the playoff as a massive surprise package, and we had Derek Adams decide to depart for League Two Bradford. So we accepted that and we moved on. And then since then we appointed Stephen Robinson who had done wonders at Motherwell, and looking for long-term partnership there. And despite our league position, I feel like it's kind of coming together. Like, we're, after all the challenges that have been thrown at us, starting from a position with 3 contracted players, a very low budget in the new league with a new manager, I think starting to look like we could just getting the performances together, and we're still within touching distance of surviving. So what we found today from Fabrizio Romano is that Stephen Robinson is about to be named St Mirren manager, which is just a massive curveball. Like, didn't see that coming at all. So
by the time we play you very well could have either a caretaker or a new manager.
Honestly, your guess is as good as mine, but I think the challenge is now that regardless of what happens, you would imagine a lot of this speculation, we've given him permission to speak to St Mirren, and if he wants to speak to them and they want him, then
he's gone.
I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? It sounds...
Normally at this stage, it sounds to me as if, unless the new manager or the manager going up to St Mirren is not giving the assurances he wants, or the time he feels he will need to complete the project they want, sounds like he's gone to me, sadly. Just because normally when
kind of answered your own question then, so we probably wouldn't be talking about a caretaker manager. But I just really hate commenting on it because I just don't know. But it's really difficult to see how Steve Robinson will be the Morecambe manager by next Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well,
you just assume, as you've said, it's a curveball. It's not going to be a quick swap over for a new manager, is it? As it's so unexpected. You'd expect things to be a little bit up in the air for you guys by the time you're facing us potentially.
Very much up in the air. Very much. I was quietly confident going into this fixture against you, because I think that you were the type of team that we would actually play quite well against. The footballing side come out, and I was actually feeling quietly confident against Rotherham as well, which sounds lunacy, but we've been playing some really good football. I know Gov hates your expected goals, but the last few games we've just been knocking on the door. We're just not getting the results. So I'm just waiting for like the floodgates to open, kind of thing, and then all of a sudden our manager seems to want to go elsewhere. So it's really up in the air. I'm just about to sit down and write a preview for Rotherham, but I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. So,
well, this is the show that deals with the fact. So let's go back to the fact. Obviously, the 2-2 was the last time we played each other. Opening day of the year. What are your memories of that game from the opening day of the year?
Just really magical. That I personally wasn't there. I was at the 2 previous Ipswich games actually, but back in 2001 and 2003. But I wasn't there. I'm actually based in Peru, as you both know.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
But massively proud moment to go to Portman Road, who I actually had down as promotion favourites going into it with the squad you built. So to come out with a 2-2 draw, and I thought we played really well on the day. Actually, I thought we passed the ball really well, and I thought that we were good for a draw. So I thought a draw was probably a fair result in the end. But to go to one of the promotion favourites and get a draw away from home was okay. Morecambe's here. We're here to party at League One. Yeah. So I thought we played really well on the day, and Cole Stockton arrived in League One as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about Cole Stockton, because Robert Grimsey says if Town keeps Stockton quiet, and we'll be fine. Obviously, when you look at any goal scoring chance in League One, you always see it's almost an anomaly, because you're sitting where you're sitting, and he's sitting where he's sitting in the League One goal scoring charts at the top. And how good has he been? How is he getting the majority of his goals?
He's getting it from just about every angle, to be honest. But what's what's happened is he was taking shots from literally anywhere, as you know, with the goal against Fleetwood, the goal against Wimbledon from nearly the halfway line of game. But what's just happened lately is he's actually started to score some of the more simple goals right in front of the goal. In the box, kind of poaching striker stuff. So he's just getting him from just about everywhere, and he's just a player that is backing himself. But just to address the comment about Cole Stockton is our only danger, then I hope that is the perception, because it might bite your team on the backside, because there's another player who actually thinks in better form than Cole Stockton at the moment, personally, since the turn of the year, and that would be Jonah Younger, ex-Bristol Rovers player, who on his day could turn it on against any League One side comfortably. Like Wickham couldn't handle him, for example. He's a very much a confidence player, but when he's on it, he's a big guy. He's got some tricks and he's got pace, and he's not scared to run. He's not scared to shoot. So he actually did really well. He made his debut against Ipswich, and he came on. I don't know if you remember him, but I think he got 3 of your players booked off the top of my mind. On the opening day, just because he's got a really nice technique where he'll kind of drag the ball, and players tend to leave their foot in, and away he goes. And so he's another player for you to watch. I think at the moment, obviously Cole Stockton, when he's got, I think it's 18 goals this season, he's your main man. But mark him too heavily, and there's other players that could pop up. And there's also Adam Phillips, who has had a hot and cold season, but has the ability to do something a little bit special. So if you only focus on Cole, then you might hurt you.
Well, and that sounds like an issue that we may have to face, Amy. Obviously, Carl Stockton will be the focus, being the 18-goal scorer that he is. But you've got a couple of other decent players, by the sounds of it, from Tom, that could really hurt us. Where do you want to take the show, Amy? Which direction do you want to go in first?
Well, I did want to just stop quickly at those 2 previous FA Cup games, because we have had a couple of people who've let us know that they were there. Obviously, so it's quite cool to hear that Tom was there as well. But there was in 2003, so that would have been under Joe Royal. We won 4-0. It was Clapham scored after 2 minutes, which made me chuckle, because that wasn't as quick as Caden Jackson was this Saturday. Then Morecambe had Bentley sent off after fouling Canalgo, and then we went on to Darren Bent scored twice and Darren Ambrose scored. And I really liked the BBC comment on the game. Non-league Morecambe brought sunshine to the FA Cup, but in the end, class told as they lost 3-0 to Premiership Ipswich. And that just made me think, oh my God, those were the days. Class and Premiership. I haven't heard them used to describe Ipswich for a long time. Actually, it was my dad that was at that one. So that was the one at Portman Road. And my dad was there. He said that we scored early and we strolled for the rest of the game. So that just clearly we were a class above a different league, literally, and sort of to watch as well, which is just what we like to hear. And then the one at Morecambe, so the only other time I believe that we have been to their grounds, and it wasn't the current ground either, was it? You're at a new ground now. But that was 3-0. It was Marcus Stewart's 14th goal of the season. A flying header, this is how the BBC described it, a flying header from new signing Alan Armstrong, and a sweet strike from Jermaine Wright. The names mentioned in those 2 FA Cup games.
Just great memories. Absolutely great memories.
Did you say you were at those, Tom?
I was at both of those. That first game was to fans that had been following around that period, that was a really special game for us, actually. That we'd won a couple of, I'm trying to remember where we won. We'd beaten, I think, Forest. I think we'd won 3 games to get there. I think it was Bridlington Terriers first, and we went to Forest Green in the first round of the FA Cup, who were, I think they were National League, and then we beat Cambridge at home, which was a massive upset because we were the conference 2 leagues below, and they were League One at the time, which set us up. We beat them in a packed ground, and then we set up a tie at Ipswich, which was a massive tie for us, and pretty much packed out the whole ground. And although we lost 3-0, it was just kind of one of those ones where, I don't know, if Ipswich got into the Europe and they got beat by Bayern Munich kind of thing, it was just like, okay, we lost 3-0, but it's more
like
about what it
losing 4-1 at
symbolises.
the San Siro, isn't it?
And the atmosphere was our stand. We had our stand behind the goal was actually bouncing up and down because the atmosphere was just electric that night. And I can still remember those goals as well that you're talking about. I think at the time you were either at the time or you were like third in the Premiership or something, like Premier League. Sorry,
we would have been quite high. Yeah,
It was that year.
And
Yeah.
Marcus Stewart. I think did Marcus Stewart finish top scorer that season?
Yes, I believe so, because it was an absolute travesty that he wasn't in the called up for
England
England.
squad. Yeah,
Absolutely
Herman
ridiculous.
Ryderson. Who else do you have?
Love
Do you have
Hermie.
Richard Wright. Richard Wright.
Richard
in there?
Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just great players. Wasn't that? I think the Mayo was there. Was if I remember the highlight. Because I've got a Premier League recap video, and I have to look it up before we play you again. But I'm pretty sure that Jim Bone himself was there. I think the Mayor was there. So it was a big event, wasn't it? And it would be, I suppose, because 20 odd years ago, the two clubs in respective different locations. But you're a new stadium now. For those that haven't been, and there will be for many town fans that haven't been. What's that like? What's the new stadium like?
I think you guys will enjoy it. I mean, we're a friendly bunch. Don't believe everything you read in terms of recent matches. We're a really friendly bunch. And there's actually, just to kind of keep on that tangent, there's actually been a really strong relationship between Morecambe and Ipswich, believe it or not. So off the back of that game, and then the following game 2 years later, the coincidence is crazy. Whenever there was when there wasn't an Ipswich game down south, there'd be a bunch of Ipswich fans going to Morecambe games.
Oh wow!
There was. I don't know where they are now, but that was for quite a few years as well. So I think the atmosphere between the friendship between Morecambe, for the older fans particularly, and the Ipswich fans is quite strong actually. That get down there, and I hope that we'll give you a really good welcome. I'm not an expert in terms of the pubs, which is why I took it out to Twitter. I've not set foot in there for 4 years, so. But what I can say is we do have the best pies going. So do not forget to get your pie. Do not wait too long because they are.
We like a
sensational.
good food recommendation.
Award winning. Go for the meat and potato.
Amazing! Okay. I love it.
Colin says on Match of the Day, one of their fans gave him a bobble hat.
I think that was Wiggy, who is it's Eric Morecambe's cousin or something like that, because we have Eric Morecambe who was actually a Luton fan, but also obviously got the name connection there. I think maybe memory's a bit hazy with that, but
there's a statue, isn't there? My boyfriend was telling me there's an Eric Morecambe statue along.
Oh, you've got to go and visit that. It's get the Ipswich scarf from that. That's a very bog standard thing. If you're not going to go buy Big Ben for London, then you can go take a photo with Eric Morecambe.
Martin, I was asking other people if they'd been to Morecambe before, and our own Ian Davies replied, and he said he went 20 years ago, and he actually went with Curtis's dad, which was quite sweet. But he has fond memories from it as well. So I think everyone I've spoken to is just really looking forward to going, and so many people are making a weekend of it as well, which is going to be just make it an even better atmosphere, just like actually being there for a trip, not just to stop for a few hours and cause chaos and disappear off again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not saying not going to make the trip, but obviously it's a team that we haven't played as often as we have done in the past, and looking forward to just seeing what this Carl Stockton's got a bit about him. So the pies are good. Where else do you want to go now, Amy?
Shall we do ex-players?
Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong one. There we go. Player connection. There can't be that many, surely.
I really struggled. I did have to reach out to Twitter today. I found 2 myself, and then thankfully Twitter came in with some crackers. So, Tom, what I've been trying to do is put together a 5-a-side team of players from both teams, whoever we're playing against. So sometimes I've got absolutely loads to choose from. Sunderland, weirdly, was one that lots of teams have played for both, but for us I've really struggled. So what I'm going to do is you guys can pick which position you want to try and guess, and I'll give you a few clues to see if I can nudge you. A couple of them are actually really current, so that might make it a little bit easier. So what I've found is I've got a keeper, this won't take you long to guess, Martin. I've got a keeper, a defensive midfielder, 2 midfielders, and a winger. So it's a bit of a. We haven't got any forwards, but it's so that's the team. Shall we let our guest go first?
Absolutely, yes, please.
Well, I did. I must confess, I saw your Twitter, but the one I've seen one name on your Twitter, but I'll go for the one that I knew anyway, and that was Shane McLaughlin. Came through youth ranks, but I have to also credit Joe Fairs through discussions with him, because I didn't realise that until we'd spoken. So that's my first one.
Top tip from Joe Fairs. I love it. Yeah, he came to us on a scholarship, from what I found out earlier. Had one game for us in the EFL Cup where we lost at Crystal Palace, and he was subbed before the end of the game, and then that was it. But he joined you guys last summer. So that was an interesting one, and I wasn't sure whether that would be one you'd pick up on, but that was a good one. There is another really interesting current one as well, actually.
I've never heard him.
Mark, which one do you want to go for? So we've got keeper, defensive midfielder, central midfielder, and a winger.
Defensive midfielder.
Okay, so this guy came on loan to us from Leeds back in 2017. He made 12 appearances for us, but picked up a groin injury.
Tamani Daragaraga.
Well done.
I have to confess, I randomly earlier today got a WhatsApp from Rich Cruncher Moss, and it was just Daragaraga.
He's such a cheat.
I had no idea why I'd been sent to. I didn't even know he played for Morecambe. I had no idea. I was like, that's Tamani Daragaraga. Why have I been sent to Tamani Daragaraga? And then you said Leeds, and I was like, Tamani Daragaraga. Boom.
So
Good
thanks
work,
for that
Crunch.
one.
Good work.
Helping hand there. Tom, we've got a central midfielder, a keeper, and a winger left.
You're going to have to help me, because I'm absolutely stumped. Are we talking modern era, or are we talking? What's the most recent?
One of the central midfielder is the one I knew without even having to think about it. He played for us in 2016. And he went to you guys in 2020 from Gillingham. Played there for a year. Played with you for a year. After you'd been promoted, so I don't think he was there when you. Because that was only last year, wasn't it? Must have been the year you got promoted. He's a big name. I would say a well-known name, because I knew him.
Not what? So he played for us just after we got promoted to League One.
Well, then that would be now, wouldn't it? Must have. So he made 10 appearances for us and scored 2 goals. He joined Morecambe 2020 from Gillingham, played there for a year. Oh, and was released after you were promoted. So yeah, he must have been there the year you came up, but must have got released last summer.
Released in the summer.
Yeah.
And what position? What position?
He's a midfielder, central midfielder.
I'm gonna have a guess, but I think this is wrong. Is Ben Pringle?
Yes, there you go.
Is it? Oh, that was a guess. I didn't know.
Pringle. Benny Pringle. Good grief.
Quite proud of getting that, actually.
Absolutely,
Good clues there. Thank you, Tractor Girl.
Oh, thank you. I did have to double check myself. Right, go on. Martin, there's one that I really don't think you'll get in a month of Sundays. And there's one that I think you'll get in about 2 seconds.
All right, give us the one that you think I'm going to get in 2 seconds.
You'll have to pick. I can't just give it to you. There's a keeper or a winger.
Give us the winger.
That was a really wrong choice. Right, so he's a 26-year-old winger. He signed for us in 2014, but and was with us until 2016, but he didn't actually play. He signed for Morecambe, on transfer deadline day last month, and he's not made an appearance for them yet. This was a great shout on Twitter. I can't remember who it was that told me this name, so I'm very grateful.
What?
He signed for us last month?
Yeah.
But he's not played for us?
Not from what I can see.
It's not one of the Irish young lads, is it? John, I'm going to go with a Kindy. I don't know.
I think you might have been right with Irish, actually. It was Dylan Connolly.
I was going to get that.
Dylan Connolly. Yeah, no.
He has played for us, though. He has played. He's made
Oh, is he? Apologies.
Dylan Connolly. All right, over to you. This is the easy one then, Tom. Don't let us down.
You've got 2 each, so why don't we go for a quick fire? Whoever gets it first out of the both of you.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds fair.
This is a really good one. I just hope that I've not been really unfair on poor old Tom. So this 33-year-old keeper, there's a really big clue that I'm going to leave for later if you're struggling, came through our youth setup. He went on loan to Morecambe from Watford in 2007.
Scott Loach.
He's got it. Scott Loach,
and the big clue was that he's actually appeared on this show.
He has.
But we didn't even need to get anywhere near it. That's
there you
amazing.
Go. Good work,
well
Tom.
done, Tom.
Good work.
When I saw that he played for you twice, I was like, Amy, that's really harsh.
Just pride, mate.
Our boy.
Pride. Yeah, he is our boy. Just pride, Tom. It's first blood. You've got first blood. There you go. It's only points you're going to take from us.
You can beat me next season in League One.
No, sorry. We'll win Saturday. Right, we've got a few things left to get through. Their player connections, done previous matches. Shall we do? What do you want to do? Drinking or parking, Amy?
Let's do parking first.
Right, I'll bring the map back up. Where are we going? Track the girl, Amy.
Well, I think most people are travelling up the day before or coming up on the day via coach, which is really interesting. So Billy Baxter tweeted me to tell me he's coming up to stay with his wife. He's staying up with his wife. Mike Woods is coming up the night before for an early start, and I know Ant Steele and Ben King are having a weekend of it as well. Graham Brooke, our own Graham Brooke, is coming up with Carl Day, who said he deserves putting up with Graham for 17 hours on Saturday.
No comment.
Emsden will be leaving home at 5 o'clock to get the coaches from Portman Road. And the lovely Kevin Gates will be on the coach as well. So to any of them who are listening to this on the way up, drive safely and look after yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Bravo to you.
But for those of you who are driving, there basically is no parking at the stadium from what I found out, because it's permit only, but there seems to be loads of street parking. And the wonderful Aston was there earlier in the season because he's trying to complete the 92. And he says that there's street parking available on Balmoral Road. So I think it's where the last show we did was MK Dons, and we were saying get the train, I think, weren't we? But
there's Balmoral Road.
There's lots of options.
It runs right through there. Look.
There you are.
There we go. Look right through there from the Sandilands up to the home base. So you should be able to park anywhere up there. Nice. Okay. Cool.
So it looks like parking should be easy enough.
Fairly easy.
Train station, if like me, you're coming in by the station, apparently it's a 30-minute walk, and there are plenty of pubs
over here
to choose from on the way, which leads me nicely into the next section.
Yes, it absolutely does. The most vital section we have. Right, where are we toasting 3 points?
Well, the official fans away club, the designated pub, is the Boardwalk, which is along the seafront, which absolutely floats my boat. I love being by the waterfront on a match day, so this is going to be great fun. So apparently they've got an open top rooftop terrace for away fans.
Have they?
Which I'm sure will be wonderful in the current weather. Barbecue, lunchtime, kickoffs, all of that jazz. So that sounds good. And Tom very kindly put out a tweet for us to try and get a bit of local knowledge. And a couple of your followers, Tom, replied with the Cavern, didn't they?
The Cavern,
great.
It did. It sounded very good. Apparently, really good atmosphere. They've got a jukebox. They've got
there it is. On the old
pints for a couple of quid, I think he said. That was
£2, I think, didn't he? £2.
There's the Cavern bar. Yeah. Look at that. All right. Looks all right, that, to be fair. Right on the waterfront again by Atkins Fish and Chips. Not far from the Boardwalk. Absolutely on the Boardwalk. Good name for a pub, that. Miliano Pizza. There's nowhere with a decent name for a takeaway this first time, Amy. I'm looking around.
So there's no dope burger.
There's no dope
I
burger.
got so excited. I was ordering from Uber Eats the other night, and Dope Burger came up as a suggested place on my phone.
And they say phones don't listen to you.
I was like, Martin.
I know.
I'll bring one down for you when I come home.
It's got to be fish and chips, though, isn't it? Really? Let's be honest. It's
well,
be
not
fish and
from what
chips.
Tom said. I think I might have to have a pie.
Oh,
well, that's true.
Don't make the mistake of not having the pie.
I
Get them early as well. Get it early. Don't wait, because they cancel out.
I'll make sure I get there early on time to make sure that this may be one of very few games where I actually make sure I eat.
Don't be silly. No, you won't. No, you won't. You're going to the boardwalk from the station to the ground, back to the station. Do not lie. Back to the boardwalk maybe after the game. I don't know.
I could get a pie at the ground. Sorted.
Cheating is eating. No, eating is cheating.
Eating's
Yeah? All that sort of jazz. Right, where are we off to next? Because I'm live with TT Extra Time in 5 minutes. Ant Still's tempted by the pie.
Lovely. There we go. Me and Ant will make sure we get to the ground in time to have a pie. We'll send you a pic, Martin, and Tom. We'll tell you how wonderful it is.
We do love our away day pictures. I got a load from MK, which I'm going to share with you on the next away day guide. Love that. Keep that coming.
Yes, absolutely. That sounds perfect. Collins just asked if I'm going to the Oxford game. I'm not, because that is actually my birthday weekend. So I'm having fun in Leeds instead. But speaking of upcoming away games, the next one for us, we've got 2 up in the northwest. I was trying to work out my northeast, southwest there. 2 in the northwest coming up in a row, haven't we? So we've got, I couldn't work out where I was going. I'll shut up. Morecambe followed by Fleetwood. So that'll be our show next Thursday. We will be back. We will, I promise, be back to normal billing that week.
Well, don't overpromise and underachieve.
Thanks, Tia.
Well, I've got us actually. Yeah, don't overpromise, underachieve. We'll talk about that one because it's not in the diary. We'll talk.
Oh, really?
I've got the next away day guide live as Oxford. I got us recording the Fleetwood, I think. But we'll talk off air. We'll talk off air. Right. Anything else? Here we go. Aston S. The beer garden in the away end was interesting. Okay.
I have heard that apparently the like where you get food and drink is basically a hole in the wall and that's it. And having been to Wickham away, where that is what you get, I really don't think I'm going to be bothering with a half-time pint. Let's just put it that way.
The wall. Do you get Dave Dyer serving it? The wall. She's showing it. The wall. That is who's showing it. I'm on BBC One. Anyway, sorry, I'm waffling. Amy, over to you.
And I think that I would just like to finish with Tom. Thank you so much for joining. We've been really enjoying having guests along. And anybody who is there on Saturday, please do come and say hello. It's been lovely meeting so many Talking Town fans at the away games this year. So, and I can say it again this week. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window.
If I don't see you through.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. Where's that come from?
I told you I got it. You wanted me to find a sign off, and I'm seeing some people during the week